Second round, like, so you're going to be doing 2 15-minute blocks and a 12-minute block. So it's full body every training session. Yeah, the two boys know what's going on here. Dominic and I have been getting abused for quite a while off me. So like, you'll have like a chest and shoulders exercise, superset it with a quad exercise. So when your chest and shoulders are working, your legs are recovering, so you hit the workout again straight away and you're good to go. On the other side, then you're going to have like a back and hamstrings superset as well. And then you're going to have a bicep and tricep superset every single day. So for the first 10, 12 days, you're going to be sore like pretty much all the time, and then you'll wake up one day and it'll just stop being sore. Okay, I promise you that will happen. It may not feel like it in the first 7 to 10 days, but it will. And it'll happen a hell of a lot faster if you get your sleep and your recovery right. Okay, that's why this stuff is so important, because it means you train more frequently and you train better. So, work capacity is just the amount of shit you get done in a session. The more the better, assuming you have good form and good technique. Hypertrophy, so basically hypertrophy is muscle size, okay? There's two really important components to looking good naked, which is really the goal of everybody here, okay? At the end of the day, you slice it any way you want. It comes back to looking good naked on some level. So there's two important things with that. Number one is dropping body fat, okay? Because, you know, it doesn't matter how ripped you are underneath or how muscular you are, because if you're covered in a bag of love, you're not gonna look the part. Number two is muscle, because let's say you do strip away the bag of glove and you've nothing underneath it, you've just got a big skeleton to hang your curtains off of. That doesn't look good either, that's just skinny fat. Like, you can diet and diet and diet, but unless you're laying out something underneath, you won't look the part. It's even more important for girls because, like, there's this like, irrational fear of getting big. Have you guys got that before with weights? Too big? No? Okay, look, if you don't get the fear, perfect, don't worry about it. But for anyone who knows girls or has girlfriends and they have this like fear of getting big, here's the easiest way to think about it, right? How many guys in here have been training for a while trying to get big and muscular? Or at least gain some weight? How fucking hard is it? Okay? Right, you've been training hard, you've been eating for it, you've been training for it, you've been trying to recover for it, it's been your sole focus. It didn't just happen, okay? It just doesn't happen, you don't wake up jacked. It would be great if you did, but you don't. And that's your focus. You've 10 times more of the hormones you need to do it than females do, so it's pretty unlikely that a girl's gonna happen to wake up big and muscular. But the fear exists, so like, whether it's valid or not, it's a thing. Don't get mad at people because they're afraid of it. The media has done a terrible job of demonizing weight training. It's getting better, but it's still not great. So hypertrophy is getting big. In general, that's what we're going to be focusing on with this, because if you want to look the part, and that's really what it's about, you need to lay down a good foundation. As you progress like over like a 6-12 month period maybe, then strength and stuff becomes more important. But initially, getting your work capacity and your hypertrophy down is crucial. And that's why you're going to be so sore all the time. But again, sleep, recovery, stress management. It'll get you there easier. The strength side of things and the power side of things, let's not worry about too much. Really simply, strength is your ability to exert force against an external object. So, can you do, like an external object could be a bar that you're pulling up off of. It could be a barbell on your back you're squatting off of, or a medicine ball you're lifting up, or dumbbells. Strength is just on some level your ability to exert force against external resistance, which could be your own body weight, like push-ups or similar. Power is then your ability to do that fast. So it's the mass you move and the acceleration you move it with. It's strength happening quickly, basically. This shit comes as you cover off all of this stuff. For the next 28 days, we just need to worry about the bottom 4. You'll get stronger, you'll get more powerful, but it's not the primary focus. So, nutrition. Again, with nutrition, everything starts with energy balance. Okay, so you can talk about the whole calorie thing. Who's like Weight Watchers, Slimming World, Atkins, Paleo? Everyone's heard of all the different diet variations. The one thing they all attempt to do, there's Steve now. Wave at Steve.
Hi people.
Did you get your card?
Yeah, buddy.
Sweet. All right. So at the end of the day, all that matters really is that you expend more energy each day than you eat. Now, the obvious problem with that is you say, why can't I just have Mars bars and protein shakes if I balance it out during the day? And in theory you could. If you look at what's actually studied, the results of scientific analysis, what you see is that when you control for protein and when you control for calories, so the amount of energy in the food, what happens is that you have reliable weight loss, okay? That works when you lock somebody in a room and they can't eat anything else. But if I give you, like let's say enough protein shakes and enough Haribo to get you through the day and we balance that sort of stuff, and I say, hey, try not to eat anything else, in the real world, what happens is you just stuff your face because your blood sugar levels are up and down all the time. You've no satiety, you've nothing really in your stomach filling you. So, energy balance, the amount of calories you take in versus the amount of calories you take out, is really all that matters. But the reason why eating good quality food like meat, veg, nuts, seeds, and all that sort of stuff is so important is because it actually makes it easier to stick to it. Think about it this way, right? A protein shake and a bag of Haribo versus a plate of chicken and broccoli. You can balance those two boys out. The plate of chicken and broccoli will be about this big for a bag of Haribo and a protein shake. Which one fills you fuller for longer? It's obviously gotta be the chicken and protein, right? So, which one is gonna be easier to stick to the plan on? Chicken and broccoli, okay? I'm not saying eat chicken and broccoli, it's just an example. But it's a good go-to. So, energy balance is number one. After that, macronutrients. So your proteins, your carbohydrates, your fats. As part of the plan, we're going to do the first 2 weeks very low or zero carb for one reason and one reason only, okay? Carbs are not bad. Carbs are perfectly okay. Eating them doesn't make you a bad person and they don't make you fat. But it's just, when you've been like, let's say dysregulated eating patterns, when you snack a lot and binge on carbohydrates a lot, what happens is you go into this really bad, like repetitive cycle where you're just chasing sugar highs. Like think about it this way, okay? You've got a baseline energy you need and you have some carbohydrates. Your blood sugar levels go up. Your body's response is, okay, blood sugar's too high, let's get rid of it. And now you're down below what you need. So your body goes, bollocks, energy, quick, get it in. And you just end up with this like spiky out of whack pattern. And until you develop really good habits and start to understand yourself and what makes you tick, you become a slave to this. And this is why like after lunch when you've had a sandwich, you're asleep at your desk at 3 o'clock and you go, right, biscuits and tea or crisps and coffee. You know, does everyone get like the post-lunch snack or post-lunch crash? Okay, a lot of that is just down to like dysregulated blood sugar levels and just eating like at inappropriate times. So getting the right macronutrients in and the right balance is super, super important. At the end of week 2, we're going to do another seminar where we talk about the next stage of eating, which will be more like, let's call it flexible dieting. To the extent that like you'll have like free calories every day. So the idea is to kind of establish good patterns and then have a little bit of what you want as well to really make this a long-term lasting change. Okay, so break kind of the rut cycle you're in now and start to really lay down good eating patterns. This stuff won't happen overnight. It takes 21 days to form a new habit and 68 to keep it, okay? So realistically, you're looking at 12 weeks to start to dig into this stuff properly. Micronutrients and H2O. Okay, so again, this is an order of importance for like weight loss goals. Micronutrients and H2O, so like your vitamins, your minerals, your phytochemicals, all of that sort of stuff, and water, they're not less important than getting your energy balance and your protein, carbs, and fats right, but the chances are if you get those right, everything else will fall into place, so you won't have to actually worry about them, okay? Look, if you don't have water, you'll die after a few days, but most of us aren't at risk of dying from not having enough water, so that's why it's a little bit further up the table. One thing I will say, if you ever get thirsty, it's already game over. Okay, if you're already thirsty, you're already going into dehydration. If your lips are dry, your mouth is chapped, and you're getting this like sort of thing, you've left it too late. Okay, your pee should always be pale, clear yellow, or like just see-through. Okay, so as gross as it is, look at the toilet after you go, check out what color it is. If it's green, you need to drink more fucking water. Okay, as a guideline, about 25 kilos of body weight needs to drink a liter of water. So for every liter of water for every 25 kilos of body weight you have, you're going to drink a liter of water, minimum. Now initially, someone said this to me yesterday, I'm going to piss like a racehorse. You are, but again, it's just because you've done something different for your body, and over time your body will adapt and get used to it. As it adapts, it gets used to everything. That's why training stops hurting after a while, because your body's adapting to it. If training does stop hurting, it doesn't mean it's not working, it just means your body's handling it a little bit better. Next up, meal timing and meal frequency. Meal timing and meal frequency, so how often you eat and when you eat, as in skipping breakfast and whatnot, only matters if it matters to you as a person. okay? So if you had 1 meal a day and you got all your calories in that meal, and you had 6 meals a day and you got all your calories in that meal, like those 6 meals, and we controlled it perfectly and made sure you didn't overconsume anything, there'd be no real difference, okay, in weight loss results at the end of, you know, let's say a 12-week period. What again matters is that over time it's easier to stick to a plan and have better adherence to the plan if you have more frequent meals, okay? That's the only real like, metabolic benefit to it. It just means you don't eat shit elsewhere. So we're gonna work off the basis of 3 meals and 2 snacks during this. If that works for you, great. If you can't eat a meal in the morning at breakfast, that's completely okay. You can have it at lunch or you can have it at dinner. So it doesn't matter when you eat, once you kind of get the overall thing covered off. And there's no real advantage to eating breakfast, other than the fact that if you don't eat a good breakfast, you're more likely to overeat later in the day. But if we can control it for overconsumption, it doesn't matter. So what I'm saying is, mealtime and meal frequency doesn't matter unless it matters to you. Okay, if you think you need 6 meals, you probably need 6 meals. If you're happy skipping breakfast, waiting till 12 and smashing all your meals in like a 6-hour period intermittent fasting style, perfectly okay. Like I know Rob, you intermittent fast, right? Sometimes easy enough to skip breakfast, hard to skip lunch. Yeah. So the risk is if you don't eat a good breakfast, you just eat too much at lunch. But again, it doesn't matter unless it matters to you. Finally, top level, least important, supplements. Supplements, the key is in the word supplement. It's an add-on. It's not a baseline, it's not a requirement, it's not an essential. You can do everything you need to do through just getting the right foods in. Where supplements come in is they make it easier. So like protein shakes make it a little bit easier to consume more protein than eating a fuck ton of chicken, for example. Okay, it's easier to consume some protein and a bag of nuts on the go, like if you're in the car or if you're running late, rather than sitting out like a table and your knife and fork and shit and trying to eat on the side of the road. That's where it gets hard. So supplements only help an already well laid out plan. They won't fix it. Like if you're eating Big Macs and Cokes all day, a few protein shakes on top will do nothing but make you fatter, just adding in more calories. So, it's all making sense so far, yeah? We're gonna do like a quick